Hey everybody, welcome to the GMG review. Today we're taking a look at two new editions of the Battletech Beginner Box and a Game of Armored Combat Box. Now these were kindly sent as complimentary review copies by Catalyst Game Labs and represent the Mercenaries edition of these two box sets, which are the on-ramps basically to both Classic Battletech and Battletech Alpha Strike, as well as both containing a selection of models and the ability to play the game. So yeah, these are not dissimilar to the ones currently on the market, but the Game of Armored Combat Box in particular has been designed with the 40th anniversary of Battletech in mind. They've both been given shiny new cover art. If you didn't notice, we've got some Mercenaries art of a Griffin on one and an Awesome on the other, all done up in Mercenary colors, so that they're kind of celebrating the launch of the Mercenaries Kickstarter wave of miniatures that are coming relatively soon. And updated with some new stuff, particularly in the Game of Armored Combat Box. Now, the smaller one, the Beginner Box, it's just funny because it's one of the last box sets where I can actually tell what it costs by looking at the back of it, because Catalyst prints MSRP on their box sets. So $24.99 for the Beginner Box and $59.99 for the Game of Armored Combat Box. And the Beginner Box is supposed to be like a snapshot. It's a taste. You get two mechs. You get it's an edition of the new, or the current one. So there's a Vindicator in it, as well as a Griffin. Two cool mechs that are, I think, only available in this box. You also get cards for Alpha Strike, as well as readouts for them, and some cardboard mechs that also come in here in like Classic Battletech as well. You get the Golden Rule. It's a Colby's Commandos mission book. It's designed to be like, or sorry, a mission book, Colby's Commandos mission. It's a storybook that's designed to give you some background in the game. And you also get the beginner's rule book, the Quick Starters rule book, and the beginner's sort of like edition of the classic Game of Armored Combat rules. Now, neither of these boxes come with the Alpha Strike Quick Start rules, but they're both free PDFs online. That is literally the only thing I think that these box sets need to make them perfect, is just a like bound copy of those quick start rules would make these boxes kind of everything you need in one set. So quick start rules, they're not as complete as the rules that come in the Game of Armored Combat Box. You get an instant guide to the human sphere, or the inner sphere, sorry, which is a sort of like quick at a glance version of that universe book you guys saw me review a little while ago. And has the map of all of the sort of like big inner sphere like parties. And then you get a set of cardboard standees for additional mechs. You can play the game and expand it, because you do get additional sort of like data sheets for the mechs that come in here, but they're quick start data sheets. There is actually a PDF of more of these too, if you like them. They're very handy for teaching the game. So if you want an expansion on those quick start sheets, I believe there's a PDF that was in the original Kickstarter that you can still download from Catalyst that has like a expanded list of mechs for the other mechs that were in that first and second Kickstarter. And you get cardboard mechs and terrain and a battle mat. So $25, you have a complete game along with like the hex map, the additional hexes of terrain so you can move the terrain around, eight additional mechs in cardboard with standees. And the quick start rules for playing the game, as well as some fiction. So a pretty comprehensive, like if you were trying to do like a taster's pack, if this was like one of those things you get your dad for Father's Day, where it's like a flight of beers, different beers, this is basically a version of that, but for Battletech, if you were thinking about giving it a go. This is usually pretty available wherever you see Battletech for sale. So Barnes & Noble, I think, has these in stock usually. I'm not sure if Target does or doesn't, but these are pretty easy to come by. And if you're thinking about giving Battletech a try, this is just an updated sort of like pretty version of the one that's already in existence. Now, let's talk about the other box, which is the Game of Armored Combat Box with its cool new awesome cover and its little 40-year logo, which I think is really nice. This comes with 8 miniatures this time around, as well as a 20% off coupon for the Catalyst website, a little code on it, for expanding your roster. You get a set of the Alpha Strike cards, once again, for playing Alpha Strike, as well as some dice. And 8 mechs. You get a Shadow Cat. You get Shadow Hawk. You get a Catapult, a Commando, a Locust, a Thunderbolt, a Wolverine, one of my favorite mechs, and an awesome and battle master. So almost every size mech you can think of, you get in this box set. You get Eye of the Storm, or Eye Storm, sorry, Eye of the Storm. It's another Colby Commandos like readout and mission for the background and stuff. So it would follow along from the one you've already read. Your mech record sheets, which are more advanced, obviously, than the starter ones. They have all of the damage locations and stuff on them as well. And then you get this neato pack of new rules, as well as the open to enter the Ill-Clan era, the box set. So you get a from 3025 to 3151 explanation of what the Ill-Clan era is. So what's cool about this box compared to the other boxes that have been in the past is this one is up to present day in the Battletech universe as far as timeline stuff. They kind of leave off at the third and fourth Succession Wars in the original versions of these box sets. Then they added the Clan Invasion box at 3050 to show those like backgrounds and rules and the story basically after that point. This is taking us all the way past the Jihad, past the Dark Age, when Comstar basically turns into a cult. the cell phone company that runs the galaxy turns into a cult. And there's a huge civil war and technology levels drop and dip again till the Ill-Clan era, where two of the clans, Jade Falcon and Wolf, end up on Earth fighting the remnants of the Inner Sphere to determine who the Ill-Khan's going to be. The Ill-Khan is the clan above all clans that basically it's been foretold the clan invasion is all about taking Earth. If you take Earth, you become the Ill-Khan, who is the leader of the whatchamacallit, the whole of clan society basically. And Alaric Ward does that and is now holding Terra, and Clan Wolf becomes the Ill-Clan, and they are now the High Lord Poobahs. You get a Game of Armored Combat rulebook, which is pretty comprehensive. It takes you even through mech building, and with the Ill-Clan era rules insert, you're also going to have the ability to use Ill-Clan tech. So you get the rules, which are also, they're already in print, like it's rules that are in the Battletech manual or Total Warfare. And the tactical advanced units and equipment, the tactical operations book. But you get rules in here, so if you don't have those books, to use things like extended LRMs, LBX autocannons, multi-missile launchers, streak SRMs that like don't fire if you like miss with them, and ultra autocannons and X pulse lasers. And then you also get equipment like double heat sinks, light fusion engines, and XL fusion engines for managing your heat. So more advanced technology. You also get maps. You get a full selection of the cardboard to go on top of that. And this box set is pretty damn complete. So taking it up, it's interesting because it feels like by having this out there, having the Ill-Clan stuff in there, and I'm just going to put my my Ill-Clan thing in the rulebook, which is a handy like way of storing it. You kind of bring everything up to speed now in the Inner Sphere so that you have the ability to tell more stories. I think that's cool. I like the idea that we're back to present day. It does feel like the story in here kind of skips, it kind of skips the whole Dark Age and Jihad sections, which is kind of neat because I feel like there's some interesting stories to tell there. I'm not sure what they'll tell next, but it feels like maybe they're yada-yadaing that a bit just to get to Ill-Clan and start telling those stories again. But they're giving us some like of the major players, like the first Horde cluster of Clan Hell's Horses, the first Tamar Jaegers, the Grey Death Legion, the Griffins, the Kellhounds, Lexington Combat Group, McCarran's Armored Cavalry, and Wolf's Dragoons are obviously going to be notable units going forward in the storyline, and they're kind of called out here as being important, which I think is maybe some foreshadowing. And it's cool because it just kind of like future-proofs where the story's at for whatever Catalyst wants to have come out in the future. I've already talked about both these box sets, and honestly, for a snack size $25 box, I don't think there's anything that's going to get you as complete a game for $25 as this Battletech beginner box. But the Game Armored Combat box for $60 has so much replay. Like, you're playing full Battletech. Honestly, there are a million other tech manuals and readouts and mechs and stuff you can add to the game, but just with what's in this box, you are playing full games of Battletech. That rulebook is comprehensive. It has all the core rules in it. It has basics of mech building. Adding in the Ill-Clan stuff means that they're kind of future-proofing like future releases if stuff with different tech levels comes out. And the fact that you get 2 mats that are double-sided, terrain, additional cardboard mechs, 8 mechs, because especially when you're not playing Alpha Strike, if you're playing on these hex mats with like hex terrain and stuff, you're typically not like, people are going to disagree with me in the comments, are going to say, you're going to always play with all 8 mechs. You're not. If you're just going to look for like an afternoon's gaming, you're going to play with like 2 or 3 battle mechs probably at a time, unless they're really light. because it takes a long time to kill a battle mech in classic Battletech. So like you get a ton of replay here just based on the fact there's 8 battle mechs in this box set. And some of them are heavy, man. Like an Awesome and a Battle Master will take a ton of time to kill unless you get super lucky and like blow the cockpit out of one or hit it in the engine. And you get a mix of lights, mediums, and heavies. Like both the Shadowhawk and the Wolverine are like nice medium mechs. The Catapult and the Thunderbolt are relatively heavy. The Commando and the Locust are light scout mechs, and then you get 2 like assault mechs in the form of the Awesome and the Battle Master, which are super armored, you know, tons of guns, just big dangerous mechs, which is just a cool selection. And because you've got like movable terrain, like cardstock terrain and stuff too, you can play this for a good long time just out of one box for $60, and it's ready to go. If someone walked in here 5 minutes after I finished filming this video, you could crack the box open and be playing Battletech in under 5 minutes. Like you could literally just pull the mats out, pop the cardboard off, pop the miniatures out, and you're playing. So still, I think I've evangelized this box a couple times, but I think it's probably one of the best deals and best like wide on-ramp products that has ever been made, especially for definitely for Battletech, and probably on the market right now. Like the only things that are kind of in this class as far as quality of product would be, and like speed to get to the table, would probably be things like Aristea from Corvus Belli. You can just like pop and play. X-Wing's obviously a contemporary that you can still just pop and play. Things like Shadespire. There's a little more assembly in Shadespire, so there's a bit more time dilation on that one. Or sorry, time expansion on that one to get to the table. Not dilation, that makes smaller. So yeah, I think it's a really good, it's still a super high quality product. And it's just they're printing their next batch differently, so it's got this additional kind of future-proof technology in it, and it's got the cool 40 years of Battletech logo. I think that's really cool that they're celebrating. They're making a point of celebrating the fact they've been around for 40 years. Like that's an achievement. The fact that they're in like a renaissance 40 years later and have made the nicest miniatures they've ever made, and also are making business-minded products, right? A product that you could put on any shelf anywhere, and there's nothing else you need outside the box. Like this doesn't need clippers, glue. You can paint them if you want to paint them, but they're perfectly serviceable out of the box to just go and play with. Yeah, it's a good job. It's a good product. It was a good product before they redid it, and it's still a good product now. But it's got cool mercenary art on it, which I like. And yeah, if you're thinking about trying Battletech out, I would always start with one of these 2 boxes. If you're kind of fence sitting, grab the beginner box, but you can skip it and go right. I mean, you can just get both for $85 and have additional 2 mechs basically, and an extra game mat that you're going to be able to play with and more terrain. If you're going to play classic Battletech, and have like, you know, 2.5 lances of mechs to play with that are inner sphere mechs that you can just build and paint like right away. So there it is. A look at the 2 new box sets from Catalyst Game Labs, available as starter sets basically for you to try out the game with. Big thanks for them sending them along to check out. You can also check out my review today of the new Star League Command box, which has their first pre-painted mech in it, which I thought was pretty cool. So tune in for that too. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.